The NWU Gallery is currently housing an exhibition called Unsettling the Single Society. Belonging and unbelonging, symbolic and material labor, land and landscape, structural and direct violence, and contested knowledge are some of the themes explored through this body of work. The themes are quite evident in how some of the pieces structure the historical and ongoing composition of the settler-colonial world. Amohelang Mohajane is the NWU Curator and Collections Manager, and she joins us now in studio to tell us more about this project. Amohelang, a very good morning. So good to see you, and it's so good to have you join us this morning.
Thank you so much, Andile. It's exciting to be here.
Simpiwe, by the way, is my name.
Simpi. Apologies.
It's okay. So tell us more about the Unsettling and Single Society, what this exhibition is all about.
The Unsettling and Single Society is an exhibition that was curated by 4 curators, Buitumelo Makausa, Nobukanya Kumalo Tsepambering, and myself. Okay. And this exhibition has actually culminated from the African Critical Inquiry program that gave birth to the organized workshop that was organized by, again, myself, Andre Goodrich, Pia Bombadela, who are from the Social Anthropology Department, and then Chris Holdridge, who's from the History Department. Okay. We titled this exhibition Unsettling the Single Society because it is inspired by a seminal paper by Max Gluckman of 1940. And this bridge paper is an analysis of the ceremony that happened in Zululand of the Malungwana Bridge. And this was a demonstration of the African white community with cross-cutting cultural relations and interactions. The workshop was also aimed at challenging the myth of, like you mentioned earlier, of the settler colonialism and the attendant idea of the separate societies ending in 1994. Okay. The exhibition also aimed at encouraging debates around the fields of history, social anthropology, and of course through the arts. And it was thematically organized through the themes that you also mentioned earlier of belonging, unbelonging, symbolic and material labor. And these also include the land and landscape and structural and direct violence and also contested knowledges.
Okay, let's talk about the pieces that will be on exhibition and how they sort of carry the theme of this exhibition.
Some of the pieces include what you also, the viewers are seeing on screen, but we've actually had a selection and took from the NWU collection, and these are including artists like Betty Celias Barnard, who challenges the myth of the Rainbow Nation, Christo Kutsia, who speaks about migrant labor and the emphasis of pain. And I actually saw now through the screen, there was one artwork that actually wrote pain. That is the Christo Kutsia artwork. And then we've got Elena Dutoit challenging the notions of equal education. We've got Jody Olin, Afrikaner nationalism, memorialization of Afrikanerdom, Andrew Bilkat, who speaks of the ghosts of our past and racial tensions. We've also got Lawrence Moorcroft, who's speaking on belonging. We also have Kim Berman, who talks to issues of land and landscape. And some of these artworks come from the NWU Nebo archive, and which is quite like a new archive discovered in 2019. And these are a romanticization of the original landscape before colonization, and also speaks to the idea of structural violence, but it also includes people like Richard Stradom, who speaks to structural violence, Ryan van Rooyen, land and landscape, Malusi Peta on home and belonging, Anna Marie Kombrink on the idea of the Rainbow Nation.
Yeah, and just looking at some of the themes you've just mentioned, I mean, there's issues of colonialism and colonization and structural violence as well. I know that, you know, it'll spark a debate, as you've mentioned earlier on. So what are some of the conversations that you're hoping that with these themes explored and with these pieces that are in display will spark? What are you expecting people to talk about after having viewed these pieces?
I mean, we recently held a workshop, the Unsettling the Single Society, and this workshop was an encouragement, and it actually brought a range of academic, creative and community speakers and also performers, where a series of we want provocations, and it actually is designed to challenge this myth. You know, so the powerful and academic presentations that we're hoping for would ideally actually follow these themes, and the papers would then either be based on personal experiences or, you know, personal lived experiences. So these are the conversations that we're actually striking to towards.
Yeah, and you've shared the work with 3 other curators for this exhibition. So how easy or hard was it for you, to come to a consensus as to which one of the best works needs to go onto this exhibition?
I wouldn't say it was easy, but it was constant negotiation, as a collective. And I mean, all 4 of us, our lived experiences aren't the same. So we wanted to tell the story using the Northwest University Art Collection. Okay. We also selected these works and referenced them, and these also include symbolic topics, and they raised, there were certain questions that were raised through the discussions that we had. We actually had to go into the storeroom and have a lot of debates about having this exhibition, but we wanted to really provoke uneasiness, unsettle an audience when somebody walks in and sees words like pain, in the exhibition. But then how we also did it is that we constructed like a geometric shapes within the gallery, so that when one walks in, one is actually able to create connections and dot around the exhibition and actually make connections.
Okay. I know that the NWU is one of the many galleries that have served as a medium for originality, a medium to self-expression through the arts. Yeah. We've had so many artists on this show who've been exhibiting at the NWU Gallery. Now, as a curator, let's talk about the celebration of museums and art collection here in South Africa.
We've actually, I just concluded a program that is a celebration by ICOM, and this began in 1977, and this was a celebration of International Museum Day. So from these conversations, what they encourage is a collaboration. So what we did is that we invited co-collaborators as institutional galleries, for instance, the Constitutional Court Curator was speaking to us. We also had the Curator of African Art Collection at the Wits Arts Museum, who also spoke to us, and we also collaborated with our local collaborator, the Klerksdorp Museum. Okay. And we've had conversations about the power of museums. And for this week, and I guess in other institutions, it's actually celebrated for the whole month. And with what we tried to do with this exhibition was to, speak on points of racism, points of institutional violence, and again moving through the workshop. Again, now we're celebrating Africa Day, this month, and the exhibition is actually still running until the 31st of May. So we've actually had quite an accomplishment in using this exhibition through the power of museums.
Wow. What is that power of museums?
The power of museums is collaboration, interaction, striking conversations and sparking debate.
Okay. Give us more details about this exhibition.
This exhibition is actually, you can access it on our university website. You can also follow us on our social media platforms. Okay. We're at NWU Gallery all the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amohelang, lovely chatting to you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time. Well, Amohelang Mohajane is the NWU Curator and Collections Manager. She's just joined us for a chat about her latest body of work titled Unsettling the Single Society.